Well, I'd say the biggest thing about the mediation program is that it's so hands-on. I mean, yeah, everything we did is learning by doing, and that's just an experience that you don't get elsewhere. You don't get that in a classroom studying case law or, the business, like all the business statutes. You don't get that kind of learning. And really the best way that we learn is by doing.
For the first semester, we're learning the mediation skills ourselves, so we're in the seminar twice a week. I think it's a 3-hour period. It's kind of like an intensive. We learn everything that Leanne wants us to know about mediation. And then when we teach it to the students, basically we're teaching them the same skills at their own level.
I was thrown a wicked curveball because I was really cool and calm about it at the beginning, and then when I started doing the actual work, it was networking. You had to go out into the community that I had no ties to. I don't know anybody here, and I had to build relationships with people. And I thought, okay, I'm a likable guy. I can walk in there in one meeting, in 20 minutes, everyone's gonna love me. I went to meetings after meetings, and these were 2, 3, 4-hour meetings, and you couldn't even plan for them.
Where at the mediation clinic was focused in on dialogue, but also negotiation and compromising and building programs and getting things established, which I think is much more reflective of the real world and what you have to do outside of law school, but it still grounds the theory of legal analysis as well as negotiation or client counseling skills or mediation skills.
We just did as many hands-on projects as we could. So we would teach them in a conflict, this is how to speak, and it's an exercise called Speak to be Heard. Basically, it's a template on how to speak, so they would practice it with partners. We taught them about identifying the issues. They would read newspaper articles and find the issues in the newspaper articles and try to tell it to the class. It sounds really simple, but when you're teaching it to elementary students, it gets pretty complicated. We also taught them a bit of negotiation. We put tape on the floor, and you had to convince your counterpart to cross over to your side. And if they crossed, you would get $1,000. If you crossed, they would get $1,000. And really the point of the game was, if you guys thought about it for a moment, if you just switched sides, both would get $1,000. But I think maybe in the entire class, one kid figured it out, because Jamil helped him.
I prefer to learn from somebody who's done it and has been out there and is not just going to say, well, they tell you to do it on page 35, so you should do it on what page 35 says. I respect experience. Knowledge and experience are two very important things, but I do feel that someone who has the knowledge and has the experience, such as Leanne, is, amazing with what she does. And she's able to bring us all together and show us, and when we sit down and we have mediations in class, she'll jump in real quick and be like, okay, well, this is what you probably should be doing as a mediator. These are the questions that you should be answering. She'll stop and then jump back and let us go right back to it. And it was just great.